Assalamu alaikum everyone. So we're going to have our second lesson, which is Sifat part 1. Sifat is the plural of Sifa. A Sifa means a characteristic or attribute. A Sifa is a special quality of a letter in Tajweed. The Sifat can be divided into two sections. Permanent Sifat and temporary Sifat. We're going to focus on permanent Sifat for today. Temporary Sifat will be taught as we go along, inshallah. Permanent Sifat are 17 in total. They can be divided into two groups. So 10 of them, they're opposite to each other. So we have 5 pairs. A letter has to have at least 5 Sifat, so one from each pair. So a person is either at or above 20 or under 20. He cannot be both, and he has to be either. So this is kind of like a pair of a Sifat. And then the other type is 7 single qualities. A letter can have an additional quality, with the letter Ra having 2 additional qualities. So those qualities, they're not opposite to each other, similar to, like, say, hair color. You can either have black hair, brown hair, blonde hair, red hair. None of them are really opposite to each other, but you'll have at least one of any of the groups. We're going to focus on the 10 for today for part 1, inshallah. The 7 single ones are going to be in part 2, inshallah. So our first pair, hams, which means whispering, and jahr, which means audibility. Whispering means a flow of breath, so air is coming out as you pronounce the letter. The letters of hams can be put together into this phrase: فحثه شخص سكت. ف ح ث ح شين خاء صاد سين كاف and ta. Those are the letters of hams, of whispering. So let's try some of them. So for example, if. Put your hand in front of your mouth. You feel a very, very strong flow of air when you're pronouncing the letter. Again with ih. You can feel this air coming out of your mouth. Ih. You feel that? There is air all coming out all the way through and coming out of your mouth. That tells you that you're pronouncing it right. If. Don't forget, your tongue has to go between your teeth to get you that nice sound, if. And then you have ish. Sheen has, it's a different kind of airflow, but it's still an airflow, it's still there. Then we have ich. Again, don't forget that ha comes from the throat, so you pronounce it right, and you should also feel an airflow because it's a hams letter. Is. The flow in sad is a bit different. It's a bit soft, but it's still there. Is. Again, and a really nice airflow. Then you have ik. That's more releasing the letter, but it's still there. It's still there. And the last one is it. So those are all the whispering, the hams letters. They all have this flow of breath coming out. Jahr, on the other hand, is trapping the flow of breath when there is no air coming out. And as with all pairs, it's all the rest of the letters. So if you don't fall in the under 20 group, you fall into the at and above 20 group automatically. So let's see some examples. Im. Is there any air? Is there any flow of breath? No. Iqqa. Is there any air? No flow of breath. No. Air, air, air. There is no air coming out of your mouth, like you're not forcing any air out. Il, il, il. No air out. Put your hand on your mouth, you should feel no air coming out. Now moving on to the second pair, or trio to be more accurate. We have the shidda, which means strength, and we have the khawa, which means looseness or weakness sometimes. And we also have tawassut, which means moderation. So this one, it's not really a pair, it's more of a trio. I have three of them. So first let's look at shidda, or strength. Strength is trapping the flow of the sound in the makhraj of the letter. So basically, when you're pronouncing the letter, it solely comes out of the makhraj. So the words for that is, the letters for that can be put into this phrase: ajid, qat, bakat. Alif, jim, dal, qaf, ta, ba, kaf, and ta. Let's try, for example, ij, ij. See, the letter solely comes from the makhraj. For example, iqqa, iqqa. We know that the makhraj of qaf is the back of the tongue, and it's all from there, all from there. Id, id. There's like this emphasis on the makhraj of the letter. That's when you know it's a shidda letter. It's all from the makhraj, all dependent on the makhraj. Rakhaw, on the other hand, is the flow of the sound. So, for example, comes out from the makhraj, which is the middle throat, but it flows through the rest of the mouth. Ew, ew. Again, it comes out of the makhraj, yes, but not like those. There's no really that emphasis, that strength on the makhraj. It flows. Irgh, irgh. It is the throat letter, but you can feel it going through your mouth. Moderation is in the middle. It's not completely trapped, but it doesn't flow as much. So the letters for tawassut can be put into this phrase: lin umar. So lam, noon, ayn, mim, and ra. So trying some of them: il, il. Yes, you don't feel that the letter is flowing through, but it's not as emphasized, as forceful as the shidda letters. Also with im, im, im. Also with ia, ia. It's coming off the makhraj. It doesn't really flow, but isn't that trapped. It isn't really that trapped as it comes with the shidda letters. So as those are lin umar and those are ajad, qat, bakat, rakhawa letters are all the rest of the letters. Now moving on to the third pair, we have isti'la, which means elevation, and then we have its opposite, istifal, which means lowness. The letters of isti'la are khussa daghtin qidh. If you have noticed something, those are the same letters as those of tafkhim. Istifal is obviously the rest of the letters. As I've said, those are the same letters of tafkhim, so I'll explain those in the tafkhim and tarqiq lesson, insha'Allah. Now, moving on to the fourth pair. The fourth pair is etbaq, which means closing, and infitah, which means opening. Etbaq, as its name suggests, it means trapping the sound between the tongue and the upper roof of the mouth. So when you're saying the letter, the sound is just trapped between your tongue and the roof of your mouth. So there are only 4 letters for this, which are sad, dad, ta, and va. So let's try it. Isla, isla. You're raising your tongue up and the sound is solely trapped between the roof of your mouth and your tongue. Also with id, you can feel the sound is just trapped there. It, it. Again, the sound is trapped between your tongue and the roof of your mouth. And ill. Don't forget to get your tongue between your teeth so you get the wa sound right. Infitah, it's the opposite. It's not trapping the sound between the tongue and the roof of the mouth. So it's obviously the rest of the letters. So let's look at some examples. For example, qaf, iqqa, iqqa. Although you're moving your tongue, you're not really trapping the sound. The sound just comes out. And then you have im. Really, the tongue doesn't have any that much rule in it, so it's obviously not an etbaq letter. And we also have a letter like ha, which is ih. Again, the sound is flowing. It's not trapped between your tongue and the roof of your mouth. This only has 4 letters. The fifth pair is not actually included in the study of tajweed, but for those of you who are wondering about it, I'll attach some information sheets, inshallah, in the description below. So that was it for today. Hope you liked it, inshallah, and found it useful. Assalamu alaikum and stay safe.